So I found my way to Bear's Den. It's a place up in Northern Virginia, up on the Appalachian Trail, and it's a bunch of overlooks and hopefully some places to camp. So let's go see what we can find. I was talking to someone in the lodge where we have to kind of register before you go in, and they were saying that a bear sighting was just here down the path the very path I'm going. He said, about half a mile down, what'd you see? The guy's like, a bear. He's like, it was literally, looked up and it was staring me right in the face. I don't know how close he was, but one of the guests said he took a picture of it and it was a very interesting experience. Along the trail, I found a really rocky area. Really interesting terrain here. The rocks are so different than I'm used to back in Utah. It reminds me of growing up here in Virginia, obviously. There's one particular spot, really deep. I don't know if you could tell. Almost looks like a cave. I wonder if this is where Bear's Den got its name. Maybe the bear they were talking about is down in there. Should we go look? I don't think he is, though, because I could see a bunch of trash down there. Well, as you can see, it's certainly not a bear den. It is just a small little hole with some wood and trash in it. Kind of sad that people see something like that and think they should throw garbage in it. But cool spot, though. These rocks just kind of pop out of nowhere. And it's like here we've got all this forest over here, and then suddenly, outcropping of rocks. There's all sorts of little nooks and crannies and things. And this is like going all the way underneath here. There's another one here. But again, immediately people would say, oh, that's got an animal living there. But you see how there's a bunch of leaves right here? Animals don't like to have a bunch of leaves in their den. So if this was an animal den at one point, which I wouldn't be surprised if it was, it's long vacant. Right up here, there's a pretty amazing overlook. So I made it to the overlook, and it's amazing. The terrain is so different on the East Coast than it is from the West. Look at all these little crazy rock crags and just little cliffs. There's just tons of places to explore and climb around inside there. And then out here, I don't know if you could see it from the video, but you can see the reflection of the sunset on the river and the mountains. Let's see if I can't get that to focus better. Yeah, maybe. It's a little foggy and hazy looking, but really beautiful. Really beautiful. A little hole in there, another hole in there. Just spots everywhere. All these little cliffs to drop across. I need to find some place to sleep tonight. There's a lot of trees that are nice and close together, but I'd like to find something that I can put my hammock up and not have to have a lot of underbrush underneath me. I don't want to have to break it down or smash it down. You know, the whole concept of leaving no trace means that I want to try and find some place that I can string my hammock up, put up a chair, eat some food, cook my dinner, and not have to worry about disturbing the environment so that when I leave, no one will know that I was there. Let's keep looking. It's been so long since I've hiked in a forest like this, I forget that there's spider webs almost between almost every single tree. So as you hike, you gotta put your hand out in front of you and kind of grab them so they don't end up going in your face. The spider worked very hard to make this web, I'm sure. And I was gonna walk right through it. Forest is amazing. It's quiet, it's beautiful. The wind is just kind of rustling through the trees. It's muggy, but that's to be expected. I think I found my spot. It's kind of a nice little area over here. So a little rock I could use as a table. Let's go check this out. Yeah, this will do nicely. Cool little rock here. Got a tree here I can connect to. Bunch of mossy rocks down, and it's fairly flat too, which is nice. Place to put my chair, place to put my stove. Let's try it out. Cozy, cozy. Now, let's see what we got for dinner. Here's our stove. And, oh, that's breakfast. Dinner is black Bart chili with beef and beans. Well, we'll see if this is any good. Whoa! The ground is super soft. Ah! The ground is so soft here that every time I try and sit down in my chair, the legs of the chair just go right into the ground. I'm not used to that out in the desert, not at all. Well, the sun went down fast. You can kind of still see its light outside, but if I turn that light off, it's getting real dark real quick, and it certainly make it hard to see on the forest floor here. I got my dinner all made. It's cooling down. It's still too hot to eat. Well, it's 4 a.m. It started raining on me. So I packed up, put all my gear in my bag and threw the waterproof cover on and threw on my rain jacket, and I'm making my way back to the car. It feels like the rain is increasing, and any minute now I could be caught in a downpour, so I wanted to be careful and smart about it. Tricky part is the trail is actually really hard to read in the rain. As you're walking along, as you're trying to see your way, it's hard to see where that trail is. Luckily, they've got trail markers on the trees that helps out. This is not the trail. This is the trail. This is not the trail. So basically just looking for the spot that has no foliage. It's just rocks and dirt on the ground. So it can be a little tricky. These markers on the trees actually help a lot. Make sure that you're staying on the trail. Well, I successfully made it back to the car. I was grateful to have the markers on the trees. It made it really easy to find the trail and get my way back. Luckily, I hadn't wandered too far. It was probably only a 2-mile hike or so from the place where I camped. And with everything well marked, made it easy to get back here. The rain did pick up quite a bit. It was raining pretty heavily on me for a bit there, but back in dry circumstances. But it's been a really fun time. This Bear's Den place did not disappoint. I really loved the scenery. I loved the change in atmosphere and conditions and climate. I'm used to desert camping out in Utah, and it's been a long time since I got to camp on the East Coast. A lot of fun to do this, and I'm really glad that I took the time to do it. But thanks for joining.